Recording. What's up, George? What's going on in the House of Craze tonight?
In the House of Craze tonight, we have Mr. Nick Gibson, and we're going to be talking to him about his project 2100 Samurai. We are also going to be talking about videos on Kickstarter. Yes or no? Yay or nay?
Hey. Let's get it.
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Catch the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the dream of Medina and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your mans, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we never miss a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the Craze. If you are an independent, catch the Craze. Making moves on your own, catch the Craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the Craze. Join the movement, catch the Craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. You know you want to do it. Catch the Craze. Welcome to Catch the Craze podcast. I'm your host with the most, Sam the Crazy Man Vera, and I am with
George, the Dreamer Medina. What's happening, everyone? Welcome to another exciting episode of Catch the Craze. We are here with another guest. It is Friday, March 11th. Thank you guys for joining us. We are going to be talking to Nick Gibson, his project or his book called 2100 Samurai. That sounds very interesting. Can't wait to talk to him about that. But if you guys are into, or not, but if you guys are into, speaking to independent artists, getting to know them in all fields, music, comics, magic, puppeteering, whatever it is, subscribe to the channel, follow us, hit the link, everything that's on the show notes, click it. And but what's going on with you, Sam? What's happening, my brother?
Because I'm a blonde B-L-O-N-D. Because I'm a blonde, don't you wish you were me? Because I'm a blonde. Yeah. You remember Earth Girls Are Easy? You never see Earth Girls Are Easy?
No, I did not.
With it's Damian Wayans, Jim Carrey. What's that guy's name from The Fly?
Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum and the woman that he married in real life, the redhead. You don't remember? Oh, that was
no, I never saw it. But yeah, no, those. I mean, I'm sure Girls Are Easy.
I was on Twitter just now as the promo was playing, and it shows up on the screen. Earth Girls Are Easy. I remember that.
Wow, that's awesome. Yo, that's crazy. But what was I gonna say to you? Oh, you know what? You're talking about back in time. The opening credits. It's like a time capsule, bro. Like, how much do you miss that old studio you had on the second floor of your old house in Jersey?
You remember that one?
Yeah, dude. Like when you walk, towards the end of the clip, you're walking to sit down, and I remember that whole setup is where we used to record the shows. That was probably the last time, well, other than when we recorded with the guys, but the two of us, that was the last time we recorded together right before the pandemic.
Yeah.
It was in that studio. That was one of the last times. And who would have thought that we were never going to go back to that studio again?
Crazy.
After that. That's crazy, bro.
Crazy.
That is insane.
Yeah, I know. It's like I look at some of the older episodes. I don't remember half the stuff. It's like when I see it, I'm like, oh, wow. I forget about these things. I'm like, wow, this is awesome.
But yeah, man, the time capsules. Even like you have those clips of like me and John, or John and I, walking into Catherine Gibbs with our baggy ass clothes because it's the freaking early 2000s. Yo, I was like, damn, look at that with our book bags on. Oh, that was, you must have been walking around with like a camcorder or something. I know it wasn't a phone. It wasn't back in the days. There were no smartphones. So it was a camcorder.
Yo, if you knew how much footage that I haven't extracted from the camcorders, I have tons of old footage that I haven't even pulled from it yet.
Bro, for those who are watching and have no idea what we're talking about, if you look at the clips at the beginning of the episode, of every episode, it's little clips of us doing things way back. Because Sam and I, we go back to like the early 2000s, and back then, the whole fake it till you make it. So we used to go to Catherine Gibbs, which is a school that Sam was going to, and we would go in there and we would act like those were our offices. So Sam has a lot of footage that he would prop up the cameras like we were in a studio. Meanwhile, we were just using the computers at the school, or we were like in classrooms at the school. It was so fun, dude. I remember doing all that stuff, and it was like, yo, this is dope. We created so many things at Catherine Gibbs, which no longer exists, of course. But yeah, that was fun, bro. Good times. Good times.
Yeah, no. Yes, it was good times. Hold on. Yeah, I mean, Catherine Gibbs. I mean, that was The Office. That was Robert Nunez. It was Tracy. It was you, me, John, and the other John.
Yeah. John Gandolfo? Gandolfo, is
John
it?
Gandolfo. Yeah, John Seifex, John Gandolfo, Robert Nunez, Tracy Alford. Yeah.
Tracy was big shout out to Tracy, man. He's still doing his thing. He's still doing the animation.
Yeah.
So big shout out to Tracy Alford. If you're watching, my brother, hope all is well. Hope you're doing great. We see him online all the time. He's always posting stuff up. So
yeah, I mean, he had access to computers, the offices. It was awesome.
It was definitely.
I think any place we could squat at was our office. I mean, we had meetings at Mercy College.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We had Mercy. We had Catherine Gibbs. The park right across the street from Catherine Gibbs was our hangout spot. Yeah. You know, the what was that?
On Starbucks, right across the street from Port Authority.
Yep, Starbucks right across the street from Port Authority. Like, they were just anywhere we could go and meet up, we would, and that's where we would do our thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny, man. Looking at that thing, it's like a time capsule. I'm telling you, it's like going back into time with that stuff. Good times had by all. Excellent. But so anyway, so everybody, welcome back. We are doing another show. It is Friday, March 11th. Now, There's an Alien in My Toilet campaign ended on the 8th. We are filming this in the past, so we don't know what's happened in the future. We're in the present.
Yes.
So we are going to say that it's been funded. All right, we're going to say it's been funded. It exceeded its goal, and hopefully when we watch this on the 11th, I will be correct. But this was a tough campaign. It was a short campaign.
It was a surprising. Well, you know what's funny? I mean, the back account was a lot better than any of the campaigns we've done.
Correct.
But it was tougher because the pledges were a lot less. You know, I mean, previously it was easier to sell the bigger ticket items. It was easier to. This one, it was more of the digital or the single and nothing else. Those were the ones that were moving fast. That was the tough. That's why it took so long to make goal, because it was a lot of $5-10 pledges. So they made it a little nerve wracking. You know, we're actually going to make the goal because while a lot of people came out to play, it puts things in perspective because there's so many campaigns the month of February. It's crazy. When you think about it. And but I didn't expect duty to be that tough. I expected it to be easier.
Yeah. I don't know. It's you never know, and that's the thing with Kickstarter. You just never know.
You don't know
what's gonna hit, what's not gonna hit, what's gonna be tough, what's not gonna be tough. You think an all ages book like there's an alien in my toilet, even though the name, but it is an all ages book. It's just comedy. It's slapstick comedy. You said it many times along the lines of the Roadrunner and Coyote, that kind of humor. It's nothing serious. So hey, listen. At the end of the day, you have a lot of product that you now can offer it up at conventions. So if anybody's we're going to be doing a few conventions. Sam, I know you're going to be doing a few conventions. Wherever you catch them, boom, you'll have some books. You'll have some cool stuff, bro. You have trading cards. I mean, there were a few things. Stuffed animals. Yeah. Stuffed duties. You had collectibles, little figures, 6-inch figures that you prepared.
The plush. I'm going to have a specific. It's going to be a combo gift basket that you're going to be able to buy at conventions. I'm going to have the plush filled. In Easter you get the big Easter basket and it has the doll, it has the chocolates, the eggs, all that stuff. I'm going to do the same thing with the plush. I'm going to have the plush with the books, with the trading cards, with everything duty print, all the stickers, whatever, one big combo basket. When I do conventions.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what we were used to doing way back in the days. We talked about this before. It was always great to just be able to interact and mingle with people at the conventions, create new fans that way
Yeah.
versus online behind a screen. Even this is a little, we were just talking, we used to meet and do the show together. I mean, obviously you were in Texas now and I'm still in New York, so it's a little different now. I mean, obviously we're not traveling like that, but yeah, I mean, I think everything's changed, and we just got to roll with the punches. You got to adapt to the change or become obsolete, and that's what we're doing. But you're right; it is different. It is different. So
Yeah, it's very different. I mean, everything, it's like you think you got your finger on the pulse, and then you're like, oh, this is new. This is different. I didn't expect this. So you
yeah,
have to adjust. You're constantly learning how to play the game. You're constantly learning how to figure out the algorithms. Everything changes, and you got to be able to adapt with it. You can't get discouraged. No matter how disheartening it is, you got to stay focused and say, you know what? All right.
yeah,
You try to beat the algorithms. It's like what I try to do is I try to over communicate so that the algorithms don't know exactly how to handle it. Like, damn. It's like, there it is again. There it is again. I guess we're gonna have to acknowledge it and give it some light because he's not stopping. It's like you almost got to operate as a computer, that versus you're going up against a computer, so you have to operate as a computer. So they're working at fast pace to try to identify what's trending and move that to the top, and what's not trending and bury you. So how do you combat that? You got to get smarter than it, and so that means you got to spend a lot of time, trying to figure out which platform is going to get you the right result.
yeah. I think it's, and that's actually what sparked the topic for today on Get Your Meds is that it's trying to deciding what to do because Kickstarter changes all the time, and that's just one of the many crowdfunding campaigns that there are. So platforms, I should say, crowdfunding platforms that there are, and Kickstarter is one of those that when you think you have it figured out, or just when you think you know what you should do, boom, something else. It's like a left turn.
Yes.
So figuring it out, and trying new things, it's very important. But yeah, before we even go into Get Your Meds, why don't we do a little indie news real quick, Sammy? I got
that was it.
Oh, okay.
Bengasaki.
That's what I was waiting for.
Bengasaki.
That's what I was waiting for.
The Bronx.
I like that you have it memorized, the little sound. So indie news, I just want to let everybody know that May 4th will be the launch of There's an Alien in My Toilet.
Crack McDougal.
And so, yeah. And so the pre-launch campaign is live right now. So if you subscribe to the pre-launch campaign, follow it. It'll be in the show notes. If you follow it, send me an email because I will be sending you an exclusive PDF for being one of the first ones to sign up. Yeah. And if you do pledge when the campaign goes live, I will be sending you a copy of that PDF. It's going to be an 8x10. It will be a copy of it for all physical backers. I will be sending that to you. So make sure that you do sign up. Just send me your email. Let me know that you did sign up. Send me your email. I'll email it to you. You'll have it as a PDF, but you can also get the physical version once you pledge, if you do decide to pledge. So that's what's going on with this. There's an Alien. I always say that, with the Adventures of Wonderduck. So I'm looking forward to that. It's nerve-wracking because it's like, it's like we do campaigns and we see what we did on that campaign, and you try to change and you do whatever you got to do, but you just never know. So hopefully we'll see how this one does. The goal isn't huge because the book is completed. It's finished. So this, I'm just trying to get it out, and I'll be printing out stuff, all of the goodies that I have planned for everybody. And we'll talk more about that as we move along. But yeah, that'll be happening in a couple of months. And what else is going on in indie news, Sam? Don't forget Thursdays, we are doing a show called The Morning Brew with the Crazy Crew. And where we talk about current events. So we'll be doing that. There you go. So we do that on Thursdays. And by now it's March. So we should be pretty deep into it. We've been doing this for a while. It started back in February. So we're a month deep. So yeah, it's a fun show, man. I like waking up in the morning before I go to work, or while I'm at work, taking a little break.
I get my big cup of Joe, and
talking shop.
I end the day with tea, but I wake up with coffee.
Oh, snap. All right. So that's what's going on in indie news. And what else we got going on? What else can we talk about here, Sam, before we go into Get Your Meds? Anything else you want to tell the peeps?
No, I think if again, we do offer subscription based, sponsorships.
Yes.
So again, you indie creators out there, we're at 95,000 views. We in 28 days we average about 5,000 views. Fast trending, and and we have a lot of eyes on Catch the Craze and a lot of ears on all the other platforms. So if you have a Kickstarter or a convention you want to promote ahead of time and help get the word out, all you have to do is sponsor an episode of Catch the Craze. It's easy, it's simple. You either provide us with a 30-second commercial, or you give us a press release that we'll read on the air, whatever it is that you want to do, and we'll post it on the show. And also, when we post that show, you'll be known as the sponsor for that episode, and there'll be a link directly linking to you on all our social media. So that's a great opportunity for you to, rest your fingers for one day or a week, and while we do the work and promote you. And it's simple as easy. And instead of just hearing me talk about it, why don't you check this out?
Do you have a Kickstarter campaign and you're trying to figure out how to get the word out? You look online and you see the competition is fierce. Comic-Cons are slowly coming back, but in the meantime, how do you spread the word? You worked for hours creating your campaign. You post on as many social media sites as possible, trying to get the word out, to no avail. Well, look no further. Why not sponsor an episode of Catch the Craze podcast, the fastest growing indie podcast in the market today? That 30-second promo can get you an extra 2 to 3 backers or more. Who knows? Let's go. Hit the link below and get one step closer to a successful campaign.
So what are you waiting for? Hit the link below. Stop backing up.
That's it. And just really quick, as of this recording, we're talking about 98,000 views. It may be a lot more by the time this airs. So yeah, it's growing. It's growing. It's good. So yeah, but what we got? What we got on Get Your Meds, Sammy?
I don't know. I know I dropped the medicine somewhere. In fact, where is that? Get Your Meds. There it is.
It's time for your medicine.
Videos on crowdfunding campaigns. Yay or nay? Hey.
That is the question, right? Do you need one? Don't you need one? For a long time, and even if you look at Kickstarter and you look at tips and stuff like that on what to do for your campaign, they tell you, create a video.
Yes.
Because that will help and the engagement and all that other stuff.
Right.
And just recently, last month, we had a guest on the show who is a consultant, and she consults for Kickstarters. She's done many campaigns.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of her campaigns have gone into the 10,000s. So, and she doesn't have videos on her campaigns. So, do you need it? Do you not need it? That is the question, right? Do we or don't we? I don't know. And
it's interesting because you don't get feedback, so you don't know what the perception is, or reception or lack of, for your videos. And I know on average the most I've ever seen was about 30% playthrough rate. So like right now, it says 45 people this is like the campaign's been up for a week now, right? So Tuesday to Tuesday, right? I mean, today's Wednesday. A week and a day. So 8 days has been up, and 45 people play the video.
Right.
And only 30% watched it to the end. So is it really worth the time to go and put in the energy to doing a video, or are we wasting our time? Because there are a lot of campaigns that are successful without it.
Right. No, there are a lot. And that's the thing. If campaigns weren't succeeding because there was no video attached, then I think there's some credence to, create a video. Now, listen, if you're an incredible, editor and that's your thing, man, video creating is your thing, and you're going to make a kick-ass video, I say go for it. But if you're an independent whose budget is really low, you're doing this to kind of get, kind of get the ball rolling here, and you can't afford to create that video, I say just put a badass image and go from there. I don't even think you should spend the time or the money to create one if you don't have it. I don't think it's necessary at this point. I really don't. And things change all the time. So March 11th, you may find that videos are necessary. I don't know, but right now, I don't see it, man. I don't think it's needed. I don't think you need a video to entice people. Because the other thing is, if let's say, for example, you're trying to cut corners and you decide to do it yourself, but you're not the best, video creator, you're not the best storyteller when it comes to videos, that may hurt you. People may look, just because you have this video up, and that may actually hurt because they hit click and they hit play and they're like, the hell is this? I'm not plugged into this. Maybe the greatest book, but because your video just didn't do what it was supposed to do, now you're done. And with all the competition that's out there, I think you need to try your best not to let anybody walk away from your campaign.
Right.
You need your eyes on the campaign. So yeah, I don't know, man. I'm leaning towards no, no video.
Right.
No.
And I think that's the hard. I think that's the hard part because I haven't done a campaign without a video. So I would love to see what the result is without one.
Yeah.
Because every one of the campaigns I've done has been with a video.
Right.
And so it'd be interesting to see if there's a different result because of it.
Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, right now I'm leaning towards no video for mine. So I'll find out to see how that works. Just because anything, man, the wrong music you put up there, the wrong image, I don't know. There could just be a million things. Your voice doesn't sound right in the video. You
got a nose hair sticking out there.
Yeah, right. You got a bat in the cave in your nose, and you're like, oh, I didn't realize
your
that.
eyes twitching.
Right, one's more than the other. Like, what's wrong with that guy? Next,
I know I got a sleepy eye.
Damn!
Sleepy eye. So I was like, I don't know if people are like, yo, what's wrong with his eye?
Where's he looking? Is he looking at?
Yeah, what's up with that dude,
what's
man?
up with that?
Yeah, is he trying to wink at me? Yo, I was like, is he sleeping? Winking?
Oh man!
And I think that's I just deleted. At the time of this recording, the campaign was in existence, so I deleted the video to see, because it's 2 weeks left to see if there's a different result from not having it.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's the thing. The other thing. I mean, and I know we're talking about videos, but the other thing that we tried different, I'm trying differently as well, is shortening the campaign. Less days. 30, no more. 21. Just take that week off and see what happens. And I mean, how do you feel? How do you feel about shortening it? What would you think?
I think when you have a demand, or if you're able to make goal that first week, then it makes sense. I think when you're unknown, I think you need all the time in the world to try to expand your reach, because there are some people that, like, for instance, I mean, it was 110 people that signed up, right? But only 25 converted, and people might sign up and said, I'll wait till the last day, or I'll wait to whatever. So you don't know what that is. And sometimes people forget, what I'm saying? Or sometimes they don't look at their emails, So I think you need to, when you're unknown, you need all the time in the world, those 30 days to stretch out, so that way you can try to get to as many people as you can throughout that time, because there's so much information coming at us.
Yeah.
I know that I'm constantly bombarded with just people wanting to come on the show, or people trying to get me to back their campaigns, right? I don't even know them. They go, hey, I got a campaign. I heard you back campaigns, back this. I'm like, there's no, hi, how are you? There's no, can I take you to dinner? There's none of that crap. It's like, yeah, not even hold my hand. This is like, I just get all these, I get bombarded with that. And so I can imagine if and this is an isolated case, to me, I'm going to imagine what everybody else is, what's happening out there. So I think you have to give people time to do their homework on you, on whether or not they want to. And then the campaigns are getting more aggressive because everyone's putting in so many different things.
Yeah.
There's buttons, there's stickers, there's magnets, there's metal cards, there's hollow foil, there's teddy bears, there's slippers. So the campaigns are getting longer. So much you got to look at. So sometimes it becomes overwhelming. It's like shoppers, paranoia. You're like, oh my God, I don't even know what to decide. There's so much. So what happens is people are like, I don't have time to scroll down. I'm just gonna get the first thing that I see. Oh, that's $10. I'll get that. Bang.
Yeah.
I'm out of here. I supported you. Leave me alone. I'm out. What you want is to try to get the people who are really interested in your product. And so that's why I think if you're unknown, you need all the time in the world. If you got it like that and you already have that fan base and 400 people are going to show up, you don't need 30 days. You can do it in 21 days.
See, here's the other side to that, right? With especially with Kickstarter, because Kickstarter doesn't take your money right away.
No.
Kickstarter takes your money at the end of the day. So if you're an unknown, okay, and you have this 30-day campaign and somebody pledges to your campaign on, say, the first or second day, but then they have, but then Todd McFarlane came out with some new toy and you're like, ooh, where am I going to go? When you have a shorter campaign, you can get your money quicker, right? And that's the mindset, right? And I think that was the logic behind shortening these campaigns. Let's try to get the money in a short amount of time so we don't wait 30 days to get it, because people can change their mind. Because you're an unknown, right? When people know who you are, like Todd McFarlane, if he had a campaign for 45 days, every single day of that campaign, he's going to be making money. So it is in his best interest to extend it as long as he can, because he knows that his fan base is just going to keep on coming in and dropping money in the
They're going to show up. Yeah.
They're going to show up. For us, not only do they not show up because they don't know who we are, but they don't even have to give you the money right away. So they can change their mind at any time.
Yeah. It happens all the time.
Yes.
You got somebody who backs you today and a week later they pull their back.
And that's the logic behind the shorter campaign, which also hurts you because, like you said, you need all the time in the world to try to make that money. So now you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, because
which is the difference between Kickstarter and Indiegogo. Because Indiegogo, if you notice, if you did 3 weeks and you're on the third week and you still haven't made your goal, you can extend the time.
Right.
With Kickstarter, they don't let you do it at all.
Right.
Which doesn't make sense. They should be able to allow you to flex it up until you make that 30-day window. But Indiegogo lets you go up as much as 60 days, I think it is.
Or like we've always talked, like hold the money, like put a hold on that money. Yeah, put a hold on it. Hold that money that way. And that, I think, to me, that works for both, not just the creator, but also for the consumer. Because what happens is, how terrible it looks on a consumer when your credit card doesn't charge. You look like a jerk because we can see it. We know who didn't pay. We're like, really, dude? You don't have $5 in your account? It didn't go through? What's going on? So it's a little embarrassing for both parties. And I think you eliminate that by just holding it. When you book a hotel room, you know what I mean? Or even when you rent the car. When you rent the car, they hold $250. You can't touch $250 because until you return that vehicle. Yeah. Same thing with this. They should hold it until, whether it funds or not. If it doesn't fund, they release it. If it funds, they take it away. I think that would be in the best interest of Kickstarter too, because if the money doesn't go through, they don't make money either, because they tax you on, or they take a fee based on what on whatever is given to you. So there are a few glitches in both systems. I
think it's if you're going to commit to a campaign, your best means of survival is have an email list and build an audience that really likes your work and is willing to support. Because because they're going to be people that say, "Oh, I can't wait! I can't wait for you to have that campaign. I'm going to support you," and they never even show up. That happens all the time. It's happened to me with Forbidden, and it's happened again with this Nail in My Toilet. Oh, I can't wait! I want that book. I can't wait till you launch that, and no show. Right? So you got to expect that. And so that's why I say, I think if you're building your brand and you're trying to get your name out there, you're going to need all the time. You need 30 days. If you already have it and you're established and you want to close that gap, close it. I did the 21 because I burned myself out with the last Forbidden campaigns.
Well, it's a lot of work, bro. 30 days is a long time
Yeah.
to be
Not
there
only that, I mean, if I
grinding.
show you my folder of um, the graphics that I created to promote this campaign, it's out of control. Just for Disney and my toilet alone, um, just in my toilet alone, just the graphics to promote. There's 79 different graphics, 79 different graphics promoting this campaign
Yeah.
for posts on 12 different social media platforms, right? And that's every day,
Yeah.
right? So it's so I think and sometimes when people they look at they get sticker shock. They don't realize the man hours you're putting into developing it, the hours you're doing to promote it, and the man hours you're putting in to fulfill the campaign.
Right.
All of that time is time that you're not making any money on, right? And then the supplies and the bubble wrap and the tape and the stickers and the markers and the label makers and all that stuff, the bags and boards, all that stuff goes into it. So people are like, oh, I go to the store, I only paying $5 for this comic. I say, yeah, because you're just picking it up and it's not being shipped to you.
Well, yes, yes. It's funny because you don't think about that, right? As the consumer, you fail to. I mean, most campaigns that I've gotten, and even the campaigns that we've done, everything gets bagged and boarded.
Yeah,
Okay, bag and boards cost money also. So
lost money.
right, so now you got to ship that stuff, and shipping. I think shipping is the biggest killer. Like when you go to a convention, you got to remember it costs about $3 or $4 to print these books nowadays. It's no longer $2.50 for a book, and now you can charge $3 or $3.99 and still make some money. These books are costing you $3.69 or better, right? Because they're color, the paper shortage, printing, it's more expensive. The color, whatever it is, these printing companies, especially when you do it on demand. Now, if you're printing out thousands and thousands of books, maybe you can get them in cents. But the way we do it, the print on demand, these prices are going up and up and up. So you can no longer get away with just sending a book for $5 in the mail. It's not going to happen. You're going to need at least $10 to make something, or to use it towards the other things that you're trying to put in there, whether it's the plush toys or the collectibles, the stickers, the bookmarks, all these things. All of that stuff does cost money. So yeah, it adds up, man. It definitely adds up. And but what do you say, Sam? Video or no video? What do you think?
I'm trying no video. I've done video the whole time, and I've had a moderate success on Kickstarter. So I'm going to try it without it and see if there's a difference. And see what if I get any feedback at all, because no one's ever said, "Oh, great video." Oh, I really the reason
that was a phenomenal video.
Right. No one's ever given us that feedback. So I think that's the big thing. So, so I see that our guest has showed up in the ready room. That was another Get Your Meds segment. If you have feedback on this conversation or input or success with either one and you'd like to share that, leave the comments below and let us know what you think. So we're going to give a bump to our girls from Raging Cajun. And when we come back, we're going to bring our guest into the room.
Hi everyone, Daphne Lage here. Join Nita Lanning and me on the Ragin' to the Vlogs show, where we talk about everything, nothing, and all the bits in between. Looking for hour-long conversations about indie comics, social media marketing, and crowdfunding, with the occasional rant and story time? Head on over to the Ragin' 2 channel on YouTube, Mondays through Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern to join in the chat.
Hit the button.
Now we're bringing in our guest. What's up?
There he is.
Hey guys, how you doing?
What's going on, Nick? Welcome to Catch the Craze. Thank you for being on tonight.
Pleasure.
You know what I'm noticing? The first thing I'm noticing, Sam, in his video is that little guitar back there, bro.
It's not so little. It's a thing called force perspective,
See, but it just seems it's like the common thing. I just feel like creatives, your comic book writers, comic book creators, and musicians. Like that's the common thread. And it's amazing, dude. It's amazing. But how are you, Nick? Nice to meet you. Tell the audience a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, and we'll start there and then we'll move forward.
Well, my name is Nick Gibson. I'm about 34 years old. I'm born and raised in southeastern Michigan, kind of like Metro Detroit area and whatnot. I've always been a creative soul growing up in life, and now I'm looking to share my talent with the world and spread the joy.
Sounds like fun, dude. Sounds like fun. How was it growing up in Michigan as far as being
Cold.
creative and doing that thing? Just cold, straight up cold. What's the weather like now? Like, what kind of weather is it getting right now?
It's actually not too bad, and by too bad by Michigan standards. Looking at my computer, it's currently 23 degrees out.
Warm.
For this time of year, warm would be like 30, 35, 40, but
yeah. Oh man, that's great. So were there a lot of comic book shops in your area? Like, how did you get into comics?
Oh, there still is. That's one of the benefits of living in a metropolitan area. Like, off the top of my head, within like, let's say a 45-minute driving distance, there's at least, I say 5 or 6.
Wow.
Nice.
So I'm definitely spoiled for choice, and I'm very grateful.
How indie friendly are they?
In my experience, very quite indie friendly. Like, I've approached them with my comics, and they've been more than willing to stock them. I've developed some good relationships. Shout out to State of Comics in Plymouth, Michigan. They've been very gracious and very open to my my comics, and I love those guys to death.
Outstanding. So let's talk about the Little Tyke. What were you into as a kid?
Let's see here. I'm kind of reaching back into the old memories there. I've always been a Batman fan, science fiction, video games. Well, I'm still a gamer. I love. I grew up on the early 2000s Marvel films like Spider-Man, X-Men, Star Wars. Huge Star Wars fan. Matrix. I was a huge Matrix fan, even though I was too young to watch them. I found, just like nature, I found a way.
Nice. So, at what point did you realize that you wanted to try your hand at comics?
I'd probably say senior year of high school, roughly. I've always kind of been a creative type, always creating stuff, like whether it be card games or just like different types of worlds. I've always kind of been in that mindset, and comic books seemed like a good way to kind of express my creativity, to kind of put my stories out on the paper. And so I kind of just created my first few initial comics, and then things kind of sat on the shelf for a while I became a man, kind of went through some life trials. And then finally in the late teens, everything just kind of came together, and I published my first comic, and haven't looked back since.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. When did you get into music? Has music always been a passion of yours?
Yeah, I'd say definitely music always been a passion of mine. I've always had that urge to play guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Just didn't really get the opportunity till about like the mid-teens and whatnot. I still remember how I got my first guitar. It was like this pawn shop was having like a Black Friday kind of ish sale, and I remember I traded in a box copy of Majora's Mask for the N64, and I got like this crappy first act guitar. I started learning on it, and about a month later, I realized, oh, hey, this is actually working for me. And I wanted to get a more permanent guitar, and that's kind of when I got Fiona over there. It's actually the second guitar I've ever owned. I've owned a bunch of guitars since then, but like that's the one that I've kind of stuck with. She's like my number one.
That's awesome.
I've done a bunch of mods to her. She's fully unique now. It's like you always have that one guitar that like she may not be worth a lot, but like she's mine, and she feels right.
That's right. You self-taught then? You self-taught yourself how to play the guitar?
Yeah, I'm self-taught,
Nice.
mostly through like tabs, like kind of playing through tabs, or books or YouTube stuff.
That's awesome.
I'm not really like professional grade. Like I can kind of do some stuff.
Yeah.
I can kind of jam and and have fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely something I might want to put more effort into once the comic books get going.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, bro. Like I always admire people who can play instruments, because I can't, dude. Like I have no, like I don't know what it is. I'm just not musically inclined. Like it just doesn't work for me. But going back to your comics, Nick. So, I was reading up a little bit about some of the work that you've done, and you have like almost like an imprint of your own, correct? Am I correct in saying that? Can you talk a little bit about your imprint and what the name of it is and what you are publishing through it?
So the Phoenix Press is my very own comic book company that I own and I run. I mean, it's essentially self-publishing. Like, if you want to be semantic about it, but like my goal is to turn this into a full-fledged company, and so I kind of put myself behind a label, so that way it's a Phoenix Press comic, and then also I got like other endeavors. Like I'm working on a novel that's like separate from it. Right. Like eventually I'll bring in other people for the Phoenix Press, but like right now it's kind of like. It kind of adds air of legitimacy, kind of adds more, whatever. And as for the name itself, it was kind of born out of I was part of a different company where I kind of got my start, kind of, I was mentored a little bit. And then after I left that company, I was wanting to start my own. The Phoenix symbolism is kind of reborn from the ashes and whatnot. So that's kind of the feeling.
Yeah. It's also, I feel like when you have your own imprint or your own publishing name, sometimes it's easier to get into conventions too that way, right? Because they ask for, okay, what's your name? And it's like, okay, you can say Nick Gibson, sure. But when you say Phoenix Press, it's like, oh, okay, Phoenix Press, that's cool. So
kind of like I was getting back to air, it kind of adds a little air of legitimacy to it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And what are some of the titles that you've published through it or self-published through it?
There's 2 separate titles that I've published so far. There's a third secret project that I'm working on that will be revealed more in the coming months. It'll be released in October. Okay. That one's really good. I can't wait for everyone to see that one. But there's 2 I've published. There's the first issue of Product Access. That was the first one I published. That was initially published under the other company, and then when I got my own company, I kind of redid it and added some stuff to it, like a HD remake, if you will, kind of thing. Gotcha. So republished that, and then that one's kind of on hiatus right now because the artist and me kind of parted ways, and so I kind of want to do it right. And then this other one, which is kind of the one I'm more pushing now, is Torn Samurai. I did issue 1. I kind of had its ups and downs, but I made it through the finish line. Awesome. And that one came out pretty well. And then now I'm here pushing issue 2 of Torn Samurai. Nice. Because I believe you have a crowdfunding campaign coming out in April for 2100 Yes, I do.
Samurai, right? So tell us a little bit about 2100 Samurai. What is the story about? Tell us about the influence and how you came up with the idea.
Well, it's a cyberpunk samurai tale where imagine you have a samurai from feudal Japan, and then all of a sudden he and his fiance get transported to the cyberpunk future of 2100. It's like a dystopian future. I kind of add my own little flavors to it, and then some stuff happens, some people get killed. It's like a mature rated tale. And so basically you have this honorable character, this kind of it's best chivalrous knight, if you will. The tagline I like to use is, "What is an honorable man to do in an honorless world?" Right. It's like a kind of like a clash of old values, new values. Everyone's cutthroat, and he's kind of I want to do good kind of stuff. So it's like a clash of morals and whatnot, and I just find that really interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. What influenced that idea? Where did it come from?
It's kind of a mixture of Matrix, Ghost in the Shell, Blade Runner, Batman Beyond, kind of putting all that kind of stuff in the blender, just kind of mixing all my favorite things together, and then whatever comes out is I make the best of it.
Sounds good.
All right, so walk us through your process, your creative process. What does that look like from start to finish?
Well, when I'm creating a new book, usually it's the best analogy I can use is plants. It's I have the seed of an idea in my head. I usually kind of let it rattle around in my head for a couple of months and whatnot, just kind of flushing it out, kind of working out, kind of the details and whatnot. And then if it kind of gets to the point where it's okay, I think this will work. What I do is I plot out, I do a general, kind of go into a document, do a general plot synopsis. And then from there, I plot out the initial arc. I usually do the first arc in one go because in the past I've done the first issue and this issue is really good, but I have no idea where to go from here. And I'm and I've had a couple of comics that are like that. I'm oh. So usually if I do the first story arc in one go, usually at least at that point I know at least kind of where things are heading. Yeah. So I plot them out, and then I write the scripts for the first story arc. So usually before I even start work on issue 1, I have this at least the rough drafts scripts of the first story arc.
Nice. And how long are your story arcs usually? What's the
I usually do between 4 or 5 issues,
Okay.
really, for story arcs.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, because then you can compile them into like a trade once you're done with all.
Yeah,
of them.
that's
you start the next
the
one.
idea.
Yeah.
What about the team that you work with?
I work with some really good artists. They're from different countries and whatnot. I found them on Fiverr.
Mhm.
There's a guy named Brian who is the artist for Torn Samurai. He's really good, really easy to work with. The cover artist for issue 2 is an artist. People might be familiar with. His name is Arvell Jones. He worked at Marvel in like the 70s and 80s. He's kind of known for like Luke Cage, All-Star Squadron, and whatnot. Really great guy. He's going to be doing the cover for it, and I'm really happy he agreed to do it.
Cool, man. That's awesome. Yeah,
And so
Fiverr's a great source, man.
Yeah,
Fiverr's a
why
great
did you
source.
choose
Oh, it is.
Fiverr over DeviantArt or Instagram? Why Fiverr?
Fiverr is kind of easier to reach out to people, and plus there's kind of a little bit of like a layer of protection where, like, obviously as comic artists we're worried, comic creators worried about getting burnt. There's kind of a certain subset of artists where like they'll take your money and run. Not all artists are like that, but those kind of scummy ones do exist. So it's like, at least with Fiverr, if they try and do that, you can at least get your money back. So that's kind of something I like when I'm dealing with people I don't know. It's a little kind of more of a security blanket, if you will.
Yeah. They have a good system actually because they hold the money. You have to send it out. They hold the money. You get your stuff, and then they get their money. Everybody.
Yeah, I find them to be really fair.
Yeah. Nah, good point. No, that sounds great, man. So the future of 2100 Samurai right now is Indiegogo, right? This is the second issue you're putting in Indiegogo?
Yes.
Now, why Indiegogo versus Kickstarter? Why did you decide to go the Indiegogo?
It's pretty much all financial, really, because with Indiegogo, if you don't make your goal, you can still get the money.
Gotcha.
So, like, this way I can at least kind of, like, assure my audience to where even if I don't meet my funding goal, they'll still get their books.
Excellent.
It's just a matter of, like, oh, I got X amount of money, so it'll be a lesser print run and whatnot. So that way I can guarantee if you pre-order, you'll get a book.
Right.
With Kickstarter, I can't really make that guarantee.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
True.
Right.
True.
All right. So, talk about what you've learned from your previous endeavors and what's going to be different for this campaign.
Well, I've learned, like, obviously the marketing angle of, like, you got to reach out to people, make sure everyone's aware of it. I've definitely learned some lessons. I've been more focusing on, like, engaging people. It's one of the reasons why I'm even on this podcast to begin with, and whatnot. And, just generally how you interact with people, how you interface with people. As an autistic person, social skills can kind of be an issue for me. So I'm always trying to do my best to improve.
Good, man. Good. That's awesome.
So what can people expect from this campaign?
They can expect a amazing comic. I'm kind of keeping it simple. I'm just doing like the comic itself, a few different variations. Like there's going to be a hollow foil edition, a backer edition. I'm doing like trading card sets. You can also pre-order. You can also order the first book because I realize there's going to be a lot of people who are seeing Torn Samurai for the first time, and I want to give people an option to get the first issue. Like pretty much every tier, you'll at least get a digital copy of issue 1.
Right.
But there will be tiers where you can order a physical copy of issue 1 alongside issue 2.
Sweet. Now let me ask you a question, Nick. We're pre-recording this show. Obviously, it's February. This show will air on March 11th. Do you currently have like a sign-up page on Indiegogo, or can they?
I do
there?
actually. It's live. It's live right now.
Yes.
Excellent. So that will be in the show notes. So everybody watching, make sure you sign up for the pre-launch of the campaign, which is launching. Do you know when exactly? I know
April 8th. April 8th is when I planned. Yes.
April 8th. Well, Nick, good luck with it, man. Thank you so much for chatting with us for a few minutes, and much luck, man. Good and success with your campaign.
Thank you for having me on. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely, dude.
Definitely. And people want to find you, how to reach you again?
You can find me on Twitter at Project Access One. I have a YouTube channel. Just search up the Phoenix Press. Yeah.
Sweet. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you, Nick.
You got it. Thank you for being on the show. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
All right, buddy. Take care.
Brother.
Sweet.
Yeah, so that was Nick, and that was another episode of Catch the Craze podcast. Again, another indie aspiring creator trying to, promote their work. He's smart enough to go through Fiverr. That's how I secured my people.
Yeah, no, and I love the fact because I was wondering, why go through Indiegogo versus Kickstarter, and it's like we were talking about just a few minutes ago before he came on. The Indiegogo allows you to get the money right away, right? So even if you don't reach and that's the other thing, even if you don't reach the goal there when you have a flexible campaign, you can get whatever you made, and then you can work with that, which is what he seems to be doing. He's working with whatever he gets, and he goes from there. So kudos to Nick. Thank you so much, Nick, for being on the show. And again, guys, if you are interested in more interviews like this, please subscribe to the channel. We are on the road to 1,000. Hopefully, we will get there soon. We're planning on doing something big once we reach 600. And if we've already reached 600, we probably already did it. I don't know what's going to happen between now and March. So hopefully we already got there. But yeah, every 100 subscribers, we're going to be doing some cool stuff for you guys to look out for those shows. And yeah, Sammy, what else you got, brother?
No, with that said, just tell a friend. And if you're listening to us on any of the streaming platforms, give us a rating, give us a 5-star rating, 4-star rating, and, recommend us to a friend. And, with that said, we appreciate you. I'm Sam the Crazy Man Vera.
George the Dreamer Medina.
And we are.
It's just easy. It's not. Crazy. Acquiesce.
No, I was talking about my friend Acquiesce. Say my name, right?
This is what you were thinking? Oh, my.
He described me. He said, I'm the
What? Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. Catch the Craze. You are listening to Catch the Craze on Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze.
Candy girl.